Hello and welcome to episode 6. It's Monday and we decided that we need to spend some more time together. It's been a whole 48 hours since I last seen you and you've missed me. But obviously we've got some updates on our personal lives. I thought I'd go in with that first. We both had a lovely date on Saturday.
Yeah, we did.
Saturday?
I'm here, by the way. Claire's not quite introduced me yet.
Sorry.
I'm just thinking at some point it might just sound like you're talking to your other personality.
It wasn't me, it was Patricia. No, Mel is here with me today. She's my co-host now, so
Yeah.
I think she'll be here forever.
Get used to me.
Forevermore. But no, we thought we'd start with a little bit of life and myths today, but we'll start with a little bit of life. We've now got a life outside of each other.
There's other people involved.
There is. How was your date on Saturday?
Yeah, he's still here. He's in the mix. He's not run off yet, so I've not done something wrong.
Oh, well, let's pick up Mel's language there. He's not run off yet. She's preempting this, even though it won't happen. He's a keeper.
How do you know?
I'd just like to point out that Mel has a straw with water, and I find that really weird. Like,
do you hear the clinking?
Water does not need a straw.
It does.
It's not right.
I'm bougie. What are you going to do about it, bitch?
Oh, we're off topic now.
Where did you was your date on Saturday?
Oh, it was lovely. What did we do? We went to an immersive game room.
Did you win? I've not asked you that yet.
Oh. We played as a team. Potentially I got us knocked out more. So he may have done better. But it was actually a really fun day. We had some nice food together, a little walk and a coffee, and it was lovely. And then
probably one of the muggiest Saturdays.
Yeah, I was sweating and I had to say, like, listen, I am sweating.
I'm not sweating.
It's the nerves. But no, it was nice. Feels like we've known each other longer than what we have.
Oh, you big melt.
And I think you're the same.
Oh, see, don't bring me into this.
We found people. Found people outside of us.
Yeah.
Me and Mel are like a little old married couple.
Yes, it's been said. Mostly by us.
I would like to affirm that we are very comfortable with our sexuality. And we like the male company. But no, without further ado, I present to you myths that I did ask my guys what myths they still believed in, what they potentially believed, and some questions that were posed to some office people of what they do and still believe. And some of them are quite sad, to be honest, so I'd like to break them down today. And Mel's going to help me cover this. Okay, so myth number 1, cardio for weight loss. Now, with Mel being a client, and she's been with me, it's nearly 12 months on the 9th of July. That's our anniversary.
Because we haven't just gone back in time to try and figure out when we first met.
No, I remember it like yesterday. But I want to ask Mel, obviously, with her being a client, it'd be interesting to find out a client's perspective. Obviously, I've done this for a long time. A lot of the fitness industry for me is a point of view sometimes, but there is some myths that are absolute bullshit, and I'd like to break them down today. I
think it's worth caveating that I am probably going to be the normal person in the room,
which is what we want. So obviously it's a little bit more relatable if people understand that you've been in that position, and then obviously I've come in and done a 360 with hopefully educating you through your journey and actually teaching you.
I try to not pay any mind to those myths anyway. Yeah. Like, you just, there's a reason why I'm with you, and that's because I needed help, and the stuff that you kind of hear and see, and some of the stuff we're going to cover, it just doesn't work.
I think Instagram, it sells the dream, doesn't it? And
it certainly does.
Do you know what? Bullshit does sell, unfortunately, and people do buy into it thinking it's going to be quicker or it's going to aid in the journey, and it actually doesn't. So we will. First myth we will go on is cardio for fat loss, or weight loss it is rather. What would you say to that? You've just walked in, you're a client, you're looking to lose, everybody says weight, even though it's body fat, but you're looking to lose some weight. Would that be your first thought?
I always ran. I ran before. I don't know, we're probably touching on a little bit of something else already there, but I always kind of gravitated more towards cardio, so I would have assumed, that it would have aided it. I don't think it would have been the prime, instigator?
Yeah.
Of that. But I'm guessing you're going to tell us otherwise, Claire.
I am, but people think it is body composition goals that people want. Like, they want that toned look, they want to look better. So if when you say lift weights, everyone thinks you're going to get bulky, but if you say what's denser or what's going to make you look bulkier, fat is bulkier. Muscle's denser, so a pound of fat compared to muscle is a lot smaller. So if you want to get a smaller frame, then what is it you need to lose?
You lose a fat, baby.
It is body fat. But yes, cardio can assist in fat loss. I don't like saying weight loss because weight's irrelevant sometimes, and I think you've proved that in the minimal amount of weight that you've actually lost compared to your body composition. So if you're looking to lose fat loss, often it can't be shown on the scales, or it can be such a minimal drop that you wouldn't notice it.
Why do you think people focus so much on weight loss? They want to see a lighter number. Like, I think it's going back to the old school where it's like your BMI, how much you weigh, because obviously people have always focused on that. And I think, which one is it? Is it Slimming World where they fat shame you, they weigh you each week? Yeah.
Or is it one of the two?
They're probably both the same, aren't they?
People fixate on that, and they'll think that their success has come from a lighter scale weight, and it doesn't. Like, if you look, I always say to people, if you can look completely different but weigh the same, which one are you going to choose?
I've lost, like, what is it, 4 pounds over the course of 10 months, which is nothing.
No, it's not a big, it's not a massive deal of weight to lose, and you look
there's differences. Phenomenal. Yeah, different. Thanks.
Mel's physique is night and day from when she started, and I will say, you just surprised me.
But I had my... Apologies, Mum, if you're listening. But my mum kind of went through the whole Weight Watchers thing. She had the ab chairs, she had the ab belts, all of that kind of stuff. And it was always fixated on scale weight. It was, I've got down from, let's say, 10 and a half stone to 9 stone, but sorry, Mum, you didn't look much different to me. Like, it didn't, the weight is, to me, is irrelevant. Is it, to quote Joe Wicks, it is a sad step in my eyes.
Yeah, because you can, people can weigh less but not look that much different, because all they've done is probably lost a little bit of muscle mass, which is going to help with your shape anyway. That's why I'll always say to people, like, cardio isn't the pinnacle of your success in getting fat off.
Yeah, because your muscle is going to start adding to that.
You don't want to eat away at muscle mass, but you should be doing your cardio for your health, obviously your heart health and your overall health anyway. You don't want to neglect it. Like, for me at the minute, I'm not doing any cardio. Is my fitness levels a lot lower? Absolutely. But I am getting out walking more. But I'm focusing more on my nutrition for, quote, weight loss / fat loss. And obviously it's going to pay off more than just smashing myself into the ground with cardio. Why wouldn't we, Mel, do copious amounts of cardio?
Why wouldn't we?
Why do you think?
Because it just batters you more. Like, your body's more. It's fatigued more because you're doing your heart rate's higher. You're doing more with your body, aren't you? Rather than, I think that's probably why I went more into the weight training side of things, because it actually, for the most part, obviously, you are pushing yourself. It doesn't feel like intense, heavy exercise all of the time. I am tapping the table again. I promised her I would do this. And now she's scowling at me.
No, but if you start adding in, and I did it in the past, I am guilty of this. You've added in copious amounts of cardio. What's going to happen to your appetite?
You're going to be hungrier.
Yeah. Why?
Because your body's burning more.
Yeah, you've brought your expenditure up that high that your body wants to refuel it to recover. So you've already increased your appetite by a massive amount, and obviously potentially taking you from what was a deficit for yourself into a surplus, because you can't keep up with that demand if you're smashing hours of cardio. I think I used to do 7 days. I'd do an hour on the treadmill, do my weight session, and then I'd go back and do more cardio. And then by the time I got home, I inhaled a small village and a baby's arm. So that was a waste of time. And I would do that 7 days a week, and it didn't get me anywhere. No, I didn't look like I do now. Like, I'm not saying I'm an athlete, but my body composition now is like night and day from what it was. And I trained more back then. I did more. I just neglected the nutrition and the understanding of actually recovering and letting my body rest. So if we have more muscle mass, then obviously we burn more at rest anyway. But if muscle mass is low, then our body's got no reason to burn anything, and it's just going to eat away at what muscle we've got left if we do hours of cardio. So rather than throw in hours of cardio in, just allow... trying to talk today. Just allow time to adjust to calories that you've set or that your coach has set. And this isn't to say after a day you've not lost weight, or after a week. Give yourself 3 weeks of actually being accurate with your calories, being adherent, and then potentially you might not need to add that much cardio in. because your cardio that I've set for you isn't a massive amount, is it?
I actually enjoy that little bit of, it's 5 to 15 minutes, depending on how much I want to smash through it.
Just to work on your fitness levels anyway, but I think people need to pay more attention to how much they are actually eating rather than how much they need to smash themselves into the ground with cardio.
And the actual step side of things helps that anyway, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we aren't, like I always say, we aren't exercising just to burn calories, because one, it's fucking miserable, and I would never just work out just to see what I'm burning. It isn't accurate either, which I will go over in later topics, but numbers are infinite. If you're constantly chasing them stupid high numbers that your watch is telling you to do, or that it thinks it's done, you'll never be happy. But we aren't exercising to burn calories. We're exercising for our health, to feel better, to move better, and hopefully avoid a life of frailty and not being able to move from the little old ladies.
And to look hench as fuck.
So the more muscle mass we have, the better longevity and quality of life we are actually going to have. So just to close that one, because I feel like we did go on for that, cardio for weight loss. Do you need it? No. Is it a good assistant? It can be, but obviously focus on it for health and cardiovascular health. And we will move on. What are we moving on to, Mel?
The myth that carbs are bad, and the idea that, bread is the cause of the middle-aged spread.
So this came from a group of ladies in an office. I can see why, because obviously carbs, bread, any tasty foods have been demonised over the years. So you have your good and bad. I try and stop my clients from saying healthy, or if they're having a cheat meal, or if they're having bad, because then you have that relationship with food where you associate X food with bad and then X food with good.
Yeah, it's the whole, I've been naughty this weekend.
Yeah, and it's not like, nobody should feel guilty or like surround guilt with food. It's there to be enjoyed and within moderation. So no food group itself is the cause. Sugar isn't bad, carbs isn't bad. If you want a bag of Haribo, little one, have it. Like, if you want to.
It's also that it's that thing. I don't know if when you were little, like if your mum said no, you can't have it, you want it more. So if you tell yourself that you can't have it, it's that I don't know about you, but I get that little like that scratchy feeling in my brain, like go and have the chocolate, go and do it. Like
if someone says you can't have something, you want it. I'm like that. You want it even more because it's taboo, it's naughty. It's like Adam and Eve, isn't it?
Yeah.
Was it an apple?
Going back to the Bible, are we? Huh?
Did she want that apple? And she wanted that apple. Who wanted the apple?
She was entitled. Oh god, I'm going to sound like a proper preacher here. She wanted the apple, and the snake told her that she should have the apple, and then it all went wrong.
Yeah. I mean, that's not to say you can't have something and you're going to be banished from the earth. But Debbie, if you want some bread, have some bread. Have it in moderation. But no food is inherently bad. If it tastes nice, we tend to overeat it, and I'm going to use myself as an example. I'm not going to shame anyone else. I went through a phase of having waffles every weekend, and one wasn't enough. I did a double decker, and honestly, it was probably a turning point for me, to be honest. It was
a moment of
I felt like I'd instantly got diabetes from it. It was horrific, and I felt sick, and I thought, it's not normal, but that was easy. 2,500 calories in one sitting, and I'm 5'2", which my calories can't be that high anyway, but it's doing things like that. Like, you can be good all week. I was chicken and rice all week, and you can just instantly take it out over the weekend. So now, like, I'll have it in moderation. Like, if I fancy something, I'll do it every so often, rather than restricting myself that much and demonising it and cutting it out. Like, I'd never cut bread out. That's not bread.
Look at, like, I know you have it, I have it, like, the bacon bagel, like, in the morning is like a staple breakfast.
Yeah,
so
I have a bagel every day.
Yeah, like, and you can...
I'm held together with bagels.
She's one big bagel. But there's no reason now, like, if you can still have that. Again, it goes into that idea of, I see it as my calories are, like, it's money, it's a budget. Yeah. So if I want to spend my budget on, I don't know, 180 calories of a bagel versus I can go for a chunky New York bagel if I want to, and then
really that's nice. My vibe. That.
But for the most part, I do normally go for the thin ones because I want to spend my calories because I want the moves at the end of the day. Like, it's. Yeah, I mean, carbs are tasty, aren't they? Like pasta, like bread, that kind of stuff. It tastes nice, tasty, but...
and they're the main energy source. Like, your macros, they all play a purpose. It isn't just eliminate carbs and just eat fats and protein, because obviously your carbohydrates are your energy source. yes, if we cut them, we can rely on fat sources, but obviously we don't want to then neglect foods or have that relationship. Because if you're out for a meal, 9 out of 10 times, can you have anything that hasn't got carbs on it?
Yeah, I mean, you're struggling, especially when you've got like flatbreads and garlic breads and pizza. And...
Yeah. Like, food is there to be enjoyed, like, socially or on your own, and it's about building that relationship with food. Obviously, a lot of people have more, not eating disorder, but disordered eating, because they've been believed or told that they can't eat this, they can't have that, and they can't have carbs, or whichever. If people do carb cycle, that's just to take a little bit of water off, and that's only ever done with my guys when they're doing a prep, and it's peak week for a shoot.
What's a carb cycle?
Where you're just pulling the carbs down, you'll pull them minimal, obviously remove a little bit of water, you do a little bit of a refeed on the carbs, put the water back in, that's when you look full and obviously have that leaner look. So I'd never remove carbs unless I'm prepping someone for a photo shoot, which I did. Your pictures, might have lowered them. No, it wasn't you, it was Rachel. So obviously Rachel and even Laura, actually, we did a peak week for them, so obviously carbs came down quite low, put them back up just to fill them up a little bit, so they didn't look flat on photo shoot day, and it works. That's the only time I would manipulate carbs. Like, I'd never tell anyone to remove them, especially with it being a main energy source. So
they're hella tasty. Like, why would you take that away from someone?
Yeah, that, like, dieting isn't dieting. Like, nutrition is a lifestyle. Don't remove foods. Have your bread. Enjoy your bread. Enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah, have your toast in the morning. Just don't lather it with butter and put lots of jam on it.
I know. People neglect that. Like, if you're not accurate and you're kidding yourself, if each meal has got protein, your carbs and your fats, you're on for a good one.
Yeah.
Everything in moderation. So, no, to answer your question, carbs are not bad. Nothing is inherently bad. We just tend to overeat most of the time. Moving on. Well, we've already touched on this one a little bit. Running is the key to weight loss and health. So, it is mixed, this. I'm going to run over to Mel. Literally, pun.
That was pun intended.
And I'm going to let her give her take on it.
I was an avid runner. Last year, the year before. I was running regularly 8k a week. I've done 5, 10s. The park runs. So I think when I look back now and I reflect on what my body composition is now in comparison to where it was, I think I thought, I'm running the weight loss off. Like, it's fine, it's keeping it at bay. I can do what I want, I can eat what I want, and it's, I'm fine, and actually running's working. Whereas in actual fact, now in hindsight, knowing what I know now, I don't think it's not the case. People's, in my eyes anyway, this is just my perception, is that people's body types are completely different. Naturally, you do get people that are more runners, haven't you? They're more...
If you enjoy
that leaner kind of aesthetic, haven't they? Whereas some people... Go on, tell me you disagree. Hit me.
No, I'll touch on both. So if you enjoy running, fair enough, you can do it. But if you have got body composition goals, like I'll always say, if you look at a long distance runner and a short distance runner, which one's got the muscle mass and the shape? It's the short distance one, because obviously they're not, literally running the muscle off. Like, the goals collide. If you've got body composition goals, it doesn't make sense to then say, I want to do long distance running, because you'll never have, unless you can eat thousands of calories, you'll never have that goal.
You can't be both.
Matched. You can't, no matter, I know there is people, I know who they are, like, I've spoken to them, but they think that they can have both. Like, you either want to run and sacrifice the body composition goals if you are going to do it over long term, or you can do short bursts of it, still enjoy running, but obviously focus on that body composition side. And I think that's where people go wrong. Like, I think lockdown highlighted, everybody thought running was the way for weight loss.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still the believer that running has its benefits.
It has its benefits, it has its place. Obviously, it's good cardio, it's good for your fitness.
It's more your mental health. Like,
the only thing I run for, what do I run for?
Run from your problems, girl.
I'm the ice cream man, because I love a Mr. Whippy. But no, like, running's never for me. Am I overweight? Am I fat? Absolutely not. I don't enjoy it, so it doesn't make sense for me to do running because I don't enjoy it. There's just nothing. I'd rather do short bouts of it, a bit of ski erg, a bit of assault bike, and often I might do a little bit of endurance, but...
I would still probably... I enjoy running, so I would still get out maybe for a 5k run if I felt like I needed it. I haven't been out for a run for Christ knows how long now, but if I felt like I needed it, then I would still go, but that wouldn't be for the journey that I'm on with you. That would be because I wanted to clear my head.
Yeah, and I do, like, when I take clients on, I ask them what cardio they enjoy, what they want to do. If someone said they wanted to run a marathon but wanted to build the glutes, then I would obviously be honest and say you can't do both, because you're either eating in a surplus and training and lifting a little bit heavier progressive overload, or you're going to have to eat to serve, obviously, your running, which is often you have to carb load on days, you have to eat a lot more, and then obviously the recovery in between that running and your weight is going to clash anyway.
So I guess the answer is really, it depends on what your main focus is and what your
know
main
what your goal is. If you want body composition, that toned look, you want to look leaner, you want bigger glutes, then obviously you're not going to do long distance running, but you can include running if you enjoy it and improve your heart health. But it isn't the key and the only thing for fat loss. Like, again, it stems back to your diet or nutrition. I tried to mouth to Mel a cue for her to answer that to take over so we was in sync, but we weren't. So nutrition is what it stems back to, not seeing exercise as a punishment from what you've eaten to burn off what you've eaten. Yeah?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't get that cue there. I was in my own little world.
But no, hopefully we are going to be back with more myths. I wanted to cover them 3 today, just so people can absorb it, take it in, hopefully take something away from this. And if one person changes that outlook, then I would be happy. But if you do have any questions, you can always get in touch with me. I am happy to help. And obviously I do take on one-to-one online clients and the group support coaching as well on the next intake of 42 Elite, where I like to educate people and get rid of the bullshit myths that are still out there. So
if you have got any bullshit myths, feel free to fling them over to Claire, because it'd be interesting to hear some more. Obviously we got quite a few from the group chat today, in fact, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it's interesting to hear the different ones that come from different places, because a lot of the ones that came up today were office based. I wonder if there's a couple of other different perspectives.
A lot of the myths we are going to cover have come from one office, and it is obviously a group of women, which I think maybe more so with the questions that are asked with carbs are bad and running and fat loss. But it would be interesting to get a few more of your guys that's listening.
I reckon the guy's perspective would be really interesting. Like,
yeah, fellas, send us a DM, but not the DMs that you normally send. Give us some myths.
Yeah,
that's all we want.
Hit us up with some myths.
But no, you can click the link or hit us up on Instagram. I will drop both name tags on the podcast. Hope you've enjoyed listening today.
And you'll be caught up to date on the next saga of the dating world as well.
With each episode, we will update everyone on our dating, because I don't know if I'm surprised how well it's actually going, to be honest.
The dating on the podcast?
Well, both. I never expected to get past one on either. It's been a drought.
And here we are, five in.
But remember, we'll always have each other.
Oh, what a nice little note to end on.
But no, we'll leave it there, guys. Thank you for listening, and send us your myths.
Claire's going to sing us out. Mythbusters.
Mythbusters.